F visas. They're the gold standard in Korea. They're a set of residence-based visas, which is different from the employment-based e-visas that most English teachers have in Korea. F visas allow a much higher degree of freedom and flexibility in choosing your employment. However, as of late 2019, the requirements to obtain or renew an F4 visa changed. If you are on an F4 visa or a Gyopo visa for those of Korean descent, or you're considering applying for one, then this video is for you. Before we get started, please understand that these requirements are only for F4 holders, not for those on other F-series visas, between the ages of 13 and 60 years old. If you're on a different type of F visa, or you're on an F4 but fall outside of the age range, then none of the following apply to you. So, what are the updated guidelines? In short, a CRC or a police check from your home country and proof of Korean language proficiency. We'll take them one at a time. First up, the CRC. It's basically the same as the E2 process. It must be from your home country, the same one your passport's from. It must be national level, and it must be apostilled, or for Canadians, it must be verified by the Korean Embassy in Canada. This requirement applies to new F4 applications as well as F4 renewals. But of course, there are some exceptions. If you already have an F4 and you haven't spent more than 6 consecutive months outside Korea, that's 6 months in a row outside Korea since receiving your F4, you don't need to submit a background check to renew. Also, as of now, December 2019, because this requirement is still quite new, the Immigration Office is giving a grace period. That's both for new applications and renewals. They will grant you a provisional F4 for 6 months, during which time you're expected to produce the CRC, and then they'll grant you the full F4 afterwards. This provisional 6-month F4 applies both to those who are applying from outside Korea and will enter at a later date, as well as those who enter visa-free or as a tourist and then apply for an F4 from within Korea. Please also note that even though as of December 2019 a provisional F4 is possible to receive, that may not last very long. It depends all on immigration and what they decide to do in the future, so it's best to prepare your CRC in advance in order to avoid a headache. Now, some people may be wondering at this point, what happens if I don't have a clean CRC? Well, I asked immigration the same question, and they said they do have a list of acceptable and unacceptable offenses. However, that list is internal and confidential. Super helpful, I know. They did advise me that if this applies to you, you should be prepared to present your case to the immigration officer in charge of your F4, as it is entirely possible to be denied a new or an extended F4 based on your criminal record. Now onto the second document, proving your Korean language proficiency. The bar is pretty low here, either a TOPIK Level 1 or a KIP Level 1 certificate. Both of those are a beginner Level 1 equivalency. To give you an idea of what we're talking about here, I took the TOPIK 1 test, which can give you a result of either a fail, a Level 1, or Level 2 after living in Korea for about 4.5 years and never, ever studying, just to see what would happen, and I got a Level 2. So in order to get a Level 1, you're not going to need to put in a lot of hours, and you can probably pass it without too much effort. I did ask immigration about expiration dates on these results, and they said there is not one. However, TOPIK results say on the paperwork that they're valid for 2 years, so don't be surprised if there are some questions if your result is older than that. Just like the CRC, there are some exemptions for this requirement too. For example, if you graduated from elementary, middle, high school, or university in Korea, you're exempt. Congratulations! Also, if you have a technical license or other certificate that would have required you to have at least basic Korean proficiency to earn the certificate, it can be used in the place of the TOPIK 1 or the KIP Level 1 as well. As usual, there's a secret list for the rest of the exemptions, and the immigration officer said that it will be done on a case-by-case basis. If you want to be really brave, then just go to the immigration office or the Korean consulate and conduct your interview in Korean. Who knows? Maybe it'll work. That's all I've got for this topic. If you have any questions, please list them in the comments below so we can discuss them together. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest tips and tricks. And of course, if you need personalized assistance, please email koreae2helper@gmail.com.